Hello and welcome. I'm Ariel Grace, and this is Creatively Free. Today, I want to talk with you about merge and flow states. Merging and flow. What's the difference? What am I even talking about? We hear a lot about flow states around creativity. And I think, everyone has a different experience of what being in flow might feel like. I was recently talking with a creative friend of mine who likes to work in his workshop, and the way that he described being in flow was that he gets lost for hours doing something, forgets about time, and forgets to eat. And that's a pretty common creative urge for someone that has a passion or discovers a creative outlet that really consumes them, right? And, artists have that passionate way. For a long time, when I would experience a new medium lighting me up in that way with that passion and that desire for flow and the dramatic flair that would come through me, the artistic flair would be, how will I ever give all of myself to this thing that wants to fully consume me, wants me to be with it all the time, expressing through it? So that is a pretty common discussed experience for creatives that often happens when they get in states of flow. Another way to experience a flow state can be just the experience of your overall life, not just through a creative expression, comes in a sense, a well-being sense of easeful movement, as if everything was perfectly synchronized. You meet the person you're supposed to meet, you speak with someone right as you're supposed to, the food gets made appropriately, you drop your kids off on time. Whatever your life experience is, it seems to just flow from point to point to point. So that's a whole other way that people experience flow. And as I've been thinking about this and talking with people about my experience of merging and flow states, I've realized we have no commonality, actually. There's no actual sort of tangible, oh, that is what flow is for everyone, certainly. And that will never be the case. But even between different experiences of flow, it's similar to the word magic. One of my coach friends, Jess Riedel, once did a survey of tons of people that she works with because she was all about magic, and no one had a consistent definition of the term. So that's interesting. What I'd love to bring in is the idea of flow as movement, freedom, and ease. And I don't think personally that description that my friend and some creatives experience as more of a dramatic loss of any understanding of space and time outside of what they're doing is quite the same as the flow state that I'm describing. And maybe it's not that healthy, to get lost in being consumed by something, forgetting to eat, forgetting to take time for people you love, that sort of thing. So I'm inviting in, perhaps there's a nuance here. There's two different experiences inside of what my friend described, or what I've experienced at times when art wants to totally consume me as an expression of time. And I've experienced a suffering response at times when that has come through, because my life didn't really allow for being completely consumed and giving up all my other obligations to pursue this one way of flow, of a creative expression unending. And so perhaps there's another state, there's another experience that people are feeling or working through, which is, I believe, the core root, most deepest yearning that all humans have that have embodied as souls is to be back in the state of oneness, which is not actually the state that we're in right now. So it's kind of funny because we embody as humans and then we want to be back in a state of union with all. So what else might be happening in that consuming, beautiful experience of creation? I call this merging states. And it doesn't have to be associated with like a sexual encounter of intimacy. This is something that we can experience with in an innocent, beautiful, intimate way with literally anything. It can be eating food, it can be taking a photograph, it can be being in nature, it can be holding your youngest child. Any of these options are available to us to experience merging. I haven't figured out personally how to induce this without substance, like on demand with just full willpower. I've experienced it though in different opportunities in my life in different circumstances, and it's brought me into my being and into my sense of peace. But the circumstances haven't all been consistent when I've experienced this state of merging. One example that I have is a time that I was taking macrofloral photography photos of butterflies and bugs and flowers, and it took me about 20 minutes. I was there, I was taking the pictures, and then all of a sudden I shifted into a different state. I felt more in tune with the surroundings. I felt like I had to work less to get the right angle. Now, some of that might be a flow state, but the difference is I literally felt this sense of what people call oneness. I felt like I was merging in with the flower, with the butterfly. There was no sense of separation. So while I was a separate being and taking a photograph, I also didn't feel that way. And I actually had to sort of sit down after this experience in the grass and just ground my energy and allow myself to feel into this deep reset of peace that I experienced from that. And this has happened to me several times. And so this is my inquiry with the word flow states as it relates to creativity and this other side of merging that so many of us crave. And I wonder if we can become heightened observers as we pursue different creative outlets and exploration in our life as to where we blend between flow and merging states. And I would love to hear your feedback on experiences that you've had like this. Thanks for tuning in.